Welcome to the JRooneyShow. It is episode 15 already, and it's Monday again. Hope you had a great weekend and didn't eat too much. I hope you stayed active. Of course, I got pulled over this morning on the way to the dog park. My headlight was out. They gave me 10 days to fix it or I'll have to pay a ticket. And at first I was kind of like, you could have just gave me a warning and then gave me a ticket the next time you saw me if I didn't have it fixed, but when would he have actually seen me again, right? And I suppose this is not that big of a deal. I was going to have to fix the light anyways. So as I thought about it, this is not a bad way to police. And of course that's open to interpretation. But, I can just order that light on Amazon, fix it myself, and the next time I'm out and about, just stop by the police station and show them that I fixed it. No big deal. So, I just ran a little bit harder at the dog park today. So once I got to the dog park, I ran a mile, walked a mile, ran a mile, walked a mile with my dog Enzo, and now I'm ready to kick today's butt. I hope you are too, so let's go. It is Monday, so it is Musk Monday, and I was glad to hear this weekend that Starlink is being used in Ukraine and that Elon is on board with sending more satellites. Starlink is a satellite internet service. As of February 2022, there are 2,091 Starlink satellites. Together, they form a network referred to as the Satellite Internet Constellation, which provides most of the Earth with internet coverage. The purpose of Starlink is to offer low latency internet access. Starlink is another one of Elon Musk's companies. Elon Musk said that Starlink's satellite service is up and running in Ukraine, responding to a plea from the Deputy Prime Minister to supply satellite-based communications to help resist Russia's invasion of the country. More Starlink terminals are en route, Musk tweeted Saturday. Musk's SpaceX is planning on sending thousands of Starlink satellites into orbit, creating an internet service constellation that would work as a low-cost alternative to remote and land-based systems that are vulnerable to interruption. The billionaire previously donated 50 satellite terminals to restore the internet in Tanja, whose telecommunications network was severely disrupted by a tsunami this year. As SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket blasted from California on Friday with a payload of another 50 satellites per Bloomberg. See link in the description. So soon enough, most of us will be on Starlink. I've been waiting for Starlink to really take off. I can't wait to try it. This weekend, I re-upped on beef. Yes, that's right. I bought some more beef. I buy a quarter steer beef every few months. And, this is a large payment up front, but I do save money over time. So I see it as an investment. For example, I get like a 2-pound grass-fed steak that would normally cost $20 in the store, and I get it for around $4. And it's also an investment into your health. That's right, I said it. Eating beef is investing into your health. So if you can't afford to purchase large quantities, I would look into it if I was you. So if you can afford to purchase large quantities or you're not sure, I would definitely look into this. I also feel like this is the moral thing to do. We should all be going straight to our local butcher if you do have one near you. See, in Wisconsin, I can drive an hour into the country and find beef. Good quality, better than the factory beef in the store. We should all be supporting local as much as we can. If everyone grew locally, we can make a much better impact on the environment than not eating meat. Lots of fake meat and vegan products actually harm our environment as well and are bad for you. So if you live somewhere with beef, go to the source. It's cheaper and leaner. In my opinion, beef is super healthy and one of the most nutrient-dense foods we have. It has almost everything we need, complete protein molecules, amino acids, and so much more. Unlike other animals, cows get 90% of their food from grass. So in a way, eating grass-fed beef is like eating plants, because that's where they get their protein from, and then we eat the cow and get its protein. Yeah, I'm aware people are trying to say beef is really bad for you, and that's only going to intensify in the coming years. But just so you know, chicken is actually worse with all those omega-6 fatty acids and 30% less nutritious. Most people who don't eat meat are deficient in multiple areas like B12 and iron. They look like shit. They're always in bad moods, and I wonder why. How many elite athletes do you know that are vegan? These are also the same people who buy into a lot of the trending activist things going on. It's more about the cool than it's actually about what's good for you and good for the planet. See, the methane coming from cows that people like to say is bad goes through a natural cycle that puts it back into the ground and then they eat it. It's not bad for the environment like a lot of people will say. Do some research. People have been trying to point this out for years. In my opinion, beef is extremely healthy and the nutrients are more bioavailable, meaning you get a lot of them, versus an all plant based diet. When you eat all plants, you have to have the right combinations, the right quantities, the right mixtures of things. You know, you still may be off the mark, and you'll still have to supplement things like B12 and probably other things as well. The last few years, I've looked my diet in the eye and said, like a lot of bros out there, I ate 5 to 7 meals a day for years, although all throughout my 20s. So, I was definitely stuck on that bro diet, and I definitely had that mindset, and I was just stuck there. I had a protein, a carb, and some sort of vegetable. Chicken, rice, and broccoli was the staple. I also ate like shit too. I had pizza all the time. I ate lots of spaghetti and tons of other carbs, breads and all types of things. I was super active all throughout my 20s. I was a personal trainer, and that in itself forced me to burn a lot of calories. I play a lot of old man sports like flag football, softball, and basketball. I was eating so many calories and had a really hard time gaining weight. However, I never looked exactly how I wanted to either, and noticed I got really hot in the summer. More hot than I felt right. So as I entered my 30s, I knew I had to make some changes. I had in the back of my mind for years to just stop eating shitty foods and get rid of all the processed carbs like oatmeals and pastas and rice, bread, cereals, all that stuff. I would fight internally with myself. What about all that time in the gym building yourself up? Now you're just going to let yourself atrophy away? So I thought I couldn't do it without the carbs. See, we all have two voices that comes with our soul. One's the good voice and the other the bad. The bad wants you to eat like shit, get those quick rewards and those dopamine responses. I think everyone knows deep down what they should really be eating. But I went on a new journey with my diet. I was ready to start trying new things. I started by really cutting my portions down. Then I started eating less meals. See, I absolutely hated how much I had to eat to weigh 180 pounds. I'm only 5'7". I felt miserable eating every 3 hours. But I would be starving because all of that rice and all those other carbs in my diet, it puts you on an insulin roller coaster and it's like crack. You need to keep eating and eating, or at least we think we do. If I went too long without eating, I either got really tired or I got a really bad stomach ache, like a legit bad stomach ache. And every once in a while, I would just feel my body overheating. So a 2018 documentary came out called The Game Changer. You've probably heard of it. It was super popular. I watched the Rogan podcast when James Wilks came on. Then Chris Kressler came on Rogan and disputed James Wilks' argument for the plant-based diet. Then I watched the two of them debate. It was a really good debate, and I thought they both made good points why you don't need meat and all the minor arguments that go with that. Check it out yourself. Come on, guys, don't be lazy. So, I've never tried giving up meat. I did some research, and I think I know what to eat and the right combinations to get protein and other nutrients. I really like Wilks. And those who don't know who he is, James Brett Wilks is an English film producer, a vegan activist, and a combat expert and instructor, a former professional mixed martial artist, a professional from 2003 to 2012. He competed in the UFC King of the Cage and was the winner of Spike TV's The Ultimate Fighter, United States vs. United Kingdom. So, I mean, he's a pretty badass dude, and he's jacked, so why not try this and see what happens? I tell my girlfriend at the time about this. We watched the documentary together, and then the debate. She's like, yo, let's try this. So I go 9 months only eating meat once or twice a week. I pretty much struggled the entire time. I did go the first couple weeks without eating meat at all, and I just felt weak, low energy. I was really tired, and I got sick of eating the same things, looking up new recipes all the time that had the right combinations to make sure I was getting the appropriate amounts of nutrients like protein and this and that. And it was just a lot of work, and I didn't feel like I was actually feeling the way I expected to feel. And you know what? I actually gained weight from this too. It was easy to gain weight on a plant-based diet. Bad weight. So, I added one piece of meat back into my diet a day. I was eating 4 meals a day. This worked for a while, then the pandemic hit, and I was able to work from home. And man, let that activity begin. As work slowed down, my activity picked up. I became twice as active. I was exercising a lot, and I was exerting tons of energy. I was on this plant-based diet plus eggs in the morning and one piece of meat, and I'm wondering all the time, why am I so tired? I'm doing all this shit right, and I have extra time to sleep right now, or at least so I thought. All those carbs you can eat on a plant-based diet just led to more problems and less energy. I had more stomach aches, joint stiffness, bad moods, bad workouts, longer recovery, slept like shit. And then I decided to get a German Shepherd, and if you've ever had a German Shepherd while living alone, then you know. You definitely know, and I'm not laughing at you. And by the way, I can't wait to see that movie Dog. I'll do a review on that once I do see it. But anyway, German Shepherds require a ton of energy, lots of energy, and constant stimulation, especially while they're young. So between my lifts, hiking, training, and playing, working in the garden, I started to eat more again, and my problems got worse. I started overheating to the point one day I had to lay down and sweat it out. I really don't know what was going on, and I hate going to a bullshit doctor that doesn't really know anything. I believe someday soon, doctors will be replaced with AI technology. They're really just corporate robots already and are just doing what they're told. Going to the doctor will cost you big time. So going to the doc wasn't an option for me. I reassessed my diet. I finally listened to the voice in my head and removed processed carbs. The oatmeal, the pasta, the rice, bread, you name it. It's all gone. Completely gone. No more messing around. Like, it's just legit gone. I took the opposite approach. Basically started eating a lot of meat with vegetables and fruits. I struggled a little bit at the beginning. I was hungry still after meals, but I felt my palate changing and started craving more meat. I probably was going through a lot of gluconeogenesis at this point in time due to the high volume of meat throughout the day, plus the fruit, so I had plenty of glucose still. Gluconeogenesis is a process that transforms non-carbohydrate substrates such as lactates and amino acids, glycerol, things like that into glucose. So I'm still adjusting and learning. I stumble onto Mark Sission's work. He is the author of The Primal Lifestyle and 2 Meals a Day. I'm going to get way into those books, so just hold on for another day. I'm putting together a JRooney special edition with all that info that led to my conclusion on how to eat, a way more in-depth look into the diet, into food, the impacts it has on the environment, and things like that. So keep an eye open for that. We're still a ways away. I have some other things in the works as well. So anyways, I was already doing like 90%, give or take, of this primal lifestyle on my own. And I realized I needed more fats, things like beans and legumes, avocados, olives, olive oil, coconut oil, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden one day, boom, energy. But I also noticed I started gaining weight again. So I'm like, well, okay. I read the 2 Meals a Day book and thought, well, eating eggs and meat with vegetables, some fruits, and lots of fat is going so well to the point my stomach aches are gone. I'm sleeping better. No more heat strokes, if you will. It's all gone. So I say, shit. Let's try this 2 meals a day thing. Let's try out 2 meals a day. And again, boom. No more energy roller coaster throughout the day, the highs and the lows that came with eating every so often, a nice steady stream of energy and focus, and what a revelation for someone like me with ADHD. So when you can focus on nutrient-dense foods and then tweak based on your lifestyle and genetics, you will find your sweet spot. I've lost weight from this and a lot of it, but I look awesome. And here's what I eat. You should find your own way. I still eat a ton of vegetables, probably more than I need to and more than most will. But, it's just something that I personally really enjoy. So I do start with meat, and then I go from there. I suggest beef and fish. A lot of people are just eating meat and having crazy good results with it. Look at Jordan Peterson, for example. People are beating all types of chronic issues. Harvard is studying this, and I'm keeping an eye on it. I'll include this in my piece coming up. So for breakfast, I have either olive oil or coconut oil, 3 eggs, acorn squash, black beans, zucchini, yellow squash. And yes, I know, I really like squash. Mushroom, kale, spinach, and sometimes I'll even throw arugula in that. A half avocado, and then 2 pieces of bacon. I then mix something into my breakfast new every week or tweak it a little bit. Like last week I had sweet potatoes, and this week I'm throwing liver in there. And man, I love mixing liver in my breakfast. Occasionally I'll mix in other red meats as well, cheese if I'm feeling lucky or have the day off. But oh man, I really do like throwing the red meat in breakfast. Dinner is different every night, but I either have fish or red meat. Chicken is like once every 2 weeks. Unless you have your own chickens, I'm not sure how healthy the factory chicken really is. We'll do a deeper dive on that in that piece coming up as well. Vegetables and some kind of bean and or legume, olives or all of them, depending on my activity level. And I'll even have potatoes at dinner as well. And it's really important to throw those fats in there to make sure that you're optimizing your energy levels and you're getting the appropriate amount of nutrients. And believe it or not, having the right amount of fats and the right fats in your body too will help you absorb more of the protein and other nutrients too. So there's a lot of science behind this. And I'm definitely no expert at this. It's just I've been working at my diet for about 15, 16 years now, so I've definitely picked up some stuff along the way. Um, so this is all I eat during the day now. I just have those two meals. On the weekends, I eat kind of when I feel like it, but this typically results in one meal and a few snacks, or I'll still have a couple meals, and sometimes I will have a snack if I'm staying up later. But I do go to bed early, so I'm typically still full from dinner by the time when I'm going to bed. I only do a cheat meal like every 10 days, and I never do a cheat day anymore. I just like feeling good, and I don't like how I feel after I do that. The funny thing is, when you eat carbs, you wake up really hungry sometimes, like starving. And I find on this diet, if I do like all of a sudden eat some carbs, let's say on a Sunday, I will wake up the next day, that Monday, and just be super hungry, and it'll just rock my day. And I'm assuming you're being really active and going to the gym and going outside, right? So, when you're not on carbs, I can go hours before eating the next day, and ultimately ketones will kick in as your body goes into ketosis. And I know that's easier said than done. Don't follow any of those fad keto diets. Stick to all natural food and eat real food, and try something like I'm proposing to you. Hey, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Not everybody's body is the same. We're all going to react different to different things, but it seems like this is a good blueprint for a lot of people. I think this is because carbs have relatively no nutrients in them. So your body is saying, hey, put nutrients in me, the good ones. So, start putting in more meats. All right. It's a new week and it's a new you. The gym is still there if you haven't made it yet. Most gyms are hopefully not going anywhere. Let's work out. Let's eat healthy. I've been pumping out a lot of Rooney Bin content lately. If you haven't picked up on what Rooney Bin is, it's when I discuss politics or rant about something basically. So I like to call that the Rooney Bin because sometimes I feel a little crazy myself. So please check out my special editions for the latest in headlines. Hit that like button, share this episode. Have a great day, Monday through Saturday, YouTube and Rumble. J. Rooney Show.